Washington Commanders traveling to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football on Monday, October 27, 2025, in Week 8 of the NFL. This is your best bets video for this game. We're going to have 2 player props and a total prediction for this game that I think are great value bets. Let's lock in and get a sweep here on Monday Night Football.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that Cap made now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Let's lock in and have a great Monday night here and make some loot here in the NFL in this Chiefs-Commanders game. Super excited for it, obviously. Should be a lot of fun. Got a lot of players back healthy for this game. So excited to tap into that. I don't have a results recap for you because I'm recording this video early. So hopefully we're having a great NFL Sunday. And hopefully we're making some money in the NFL on Sunday. That is obviously the goal. So make sure you guys don't forget to drop your favorite pick for this game down below in the chat. Put a star or an asterisk next to your pick. And we'll include your pick in our next video if it hits down in the chat. It's a great way to participate here at the channel and also to help out your fellow cappers and trying to make some money here on Monday Night Football. So, like I said, hopefully we're having a great Week 8 in the NFL. Like I said, we're excited for this game. We're going to be running a live stream for this game as well. So just keep that in mind. We'll be starting, about 15 minutes before the game starts. We'll have game audio and a watch party going on for this game. So make sure you guys tune into that. You guys can come out and sweat out the bets with us and just have some fun. Obviously, watching this Week 8 Monday night game. So without further ado, my friends, it's time to get after it, get into these picks, get a sweep in the NFL, and keep the happy times going here at the channel. So let's get right into our picks here. At number 1, we're rocking the over 47.5 points in this Commanders-Chiefs game. We're going minus 112 odds here on DraftKings. Really like the value on this one. This is a play I'm really excited about, honestly, and hopefully, obviously, we can take this one to the window. We've taken a bunch of overs in primetime, and we've cashed a lot of them. I believe the last 2 that we've taken, we took in the Chiefs-Jaguars game, that cashed, and we took in the Jets-Dolphins game. I remember those ones. Those both cashed. So hopefully we can hit another over here in primetime. Obviously, primetime kind of brings out, especially Monday Night Football, brings out the vibes. Everyone wants to show off and, get in the spotlight. So it's definitely a good time for points, I think. And especially in this particular matchup, we're getting a lot of bodies back healthy for this game. First of all, Rashee Rice came back healthy for the Chiefs. So that was big for their offense. An offense that was already rolling without him, added him back and continued to do very well, scoring 31 last week versus the Raiders. We were actually on the Chiefs team total over on that one and we cashed. Obviously like that. On the Commander side, obviously Jaden Daniels is out. Well aware of that. Wish he was playing in a lot of ways. But I'll tell you what, the Commanders get Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel back. And those guys are 2 game-changing type players that can make big plays. And both, for Deebo can run the ball too. But both of them are game breakers, can make big plays in the pass game. And I think Mariota's good enough to get him the ball. I really do. Veteran wide receivers, I think they're going to be able to move the ball and score some points. And like I said, I just really love that those guys are back healthy. It completely changes the escape thing. Even the Commanders guys averaging 28.1 points per game over their last 5 games. So obviously love seeing that as well. I think the Commanders, like I said, are going to be able to do enough here to warrant an over. 28.2 points per game over the last 5 games. But they're also getting a lot healthier here, like I said, especially with the skill players coming back. It makes a big difference when they're versus throwing the guys that you're just, that nobody's used to throwing to versus throwing to these main targets. And obviously, Terry McLaurin's a game breaker. He's so good. He should be able to make some plays. And the Chiefs defense, for what it's worth, has at times looked vulnerable this season. At times they look very good, but at times they've looked vulnerable. I think this is a spot where the Commanders could put up some points. I'm not saying that they're going to cover the spread. I'm not saying that they're going to win the game. I'm saying they're going to contribute enough here to hit this over. I think, paired there with the Chiefs offense. Commanders defense has been terrible. So I think the Chiefs are going to have no problem scoring there. Commanders 28th in yards per play allowed. That really tells a lot about their defense. They give up a lot of big plays. They know last week they gave up 44 to Dallas. Absolutely got routed there 44-22. But they put up enough points offensively to hit an over, obviously. That over was set to 54.5, and they ended up with 66 points. So this one's about, 7 points lower. I'm not saying it's going to be quite that high scoring, but I expect it to hit into the 50s. I really do, for sure. There's a chance the Chiefs could score, 35 to 40 points here. But I think the Commanders are going to score as well. I really do. Chiefs offense right now, we talked about how they got back on track. They're really in mid-season, or rather end of season form, averaging 31.5 points per game over the last 4 games. So, like I said, the healthiness is really what got me into this over. Getting all those skill position players back, I think is huge. So, love it there for number 1 pick. We got the over 47.5 points in the Commanders-Chiefs game, minus 112 odds here on DraftKings. Okay, and at number 2, we got Marcus Mariota, over 28.5 rushing yards here for the Washington Commanders, going minus 114 odds on FanDuel. Yeah, we get the skill players back. That's great. They'll probably hit some passes down the field. That's obviously the hope. At the very least, Mariota, as you guys know, could definitely use his legs. I don't think the defense is going to be as focused on him running with the football now. Now that you got Terry McLaurin on the field and Deebo Samuel on the field, I think that really opens things up for Mariota to be able to use his legs more, to be honest with you, because it won't be the prime focus here on this one. Another spot where, this is supposedly supposed to be a negative game script, right? Spread set to 11.5. So they got the Commanders playing from behind pretty much all night here. If that's the case, the ball is going to be in Mariota's hands a lot. So at different points in this game, he's going to take off and run. He's very capable of doing so, and he does so on a fairly frequent basis. So I definitely think he won't have any problem really hitting this line. The Chiefs, like I said, if you had to point to some weaknesses in the Chiefs defense, this would be one. They're 27th in rush yards allowed to quarterback. So we've seen Herbert gash them. We've seen, obviously, Lamar Jackson gash them. But a lot of mobile quarterbacks have been able to get rushing yards on them and cash their lines versus this team. So I think, once again, because the Commanders are going to also be playing from behind, Mariota is just going to have a lot of snap volume with the ball in his hands. And I think at different points he's going to take off and run. Obviously, he's very capable with his legs. He's not really that far off from Jaden Daniels with his legs. He can use his legs very well, just like Jaden Daniels can in this offense. Which is kind of why he's their backup, right? He can still run this offense very similarly to how Jaden Daniels would. We've already seen him cash in 2 or 3 games with logs of 40, 20, 34. So even when he didn't cash, he still got 20. So I think we're going to be in this one. I think we're going to have a great chance to cash. Obviously, he's going to play the whole game here. So this should be pretty good. Like I said, Commanders likely going to have to abandon the run. And at that point, Mariota is just going to be operating with the ball in his hands, which is really the prime reason I love this bet. I think this is a great look here on Mariota. So love it there for number 2 pick, guys. Got Marcus Mariota over 28.5 rushing yards here for the Washington Commanders. Minus 114 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and finally at number 3, a guy we've cashed for earlier this season in a Chiefs game. We're going Travis Kelce. Over 40.5 receiving yards here for the Kansas City Chiefs. Minus 115 odds on Fanatics. Now, when we took Kelce, I believe we took it at either like 42 or 43.5. So we're actually getting this a little bit lower. And Kelce's been hitting this line all season. He's over in 6 of 7 games this season, averaging 53.6 yards per game. So my argument with Kelce is, I'm not saying he's the same player he used to be. I think he's lost a step or two. However, his line still warrants him at this point. His line should be in the high 40s to the low 50s for sure for me. Even with Rashee Rice back, obviously Travis Kelce is still tight end number 1. Rashee Rice is going to impact his volume to a point, I guess. But even with Rashee Rice getting 10 targets last week, Kelce still cashed. So obviously it could end up benefiting Kelce, whereas not as much attention is going to be on him. And the Commanders have holes all over their defense. So if I had to pick one guy to really trust their volume to kind of remain somewhat steady and consistent, it's Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes have been a thing for a very long time. He's not going to just not throw him the ball all night. Kelce will still get looks. He'll still get targets. He'll still get volume. I think Kelce could break some big ones on this defense. No doubt. Kind of like Tucker Kraft did against them with the Packers. He went over 100 receiving yards versus this Commanders team. That's the day we took Tucker Kraft to actually score a touchdown. And he ended up having over 100 receiving yards. I was slightly annoyed because it took him a little bit to get the touchdown. I was sitting there like, why didn't I just take his receiving yards? But here on Travis Kelce, 40 is just too low for me. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a great game here. Commanders, like I said, have holes all over the place. They're 17th in receiving yards allowed to tight ends. But even that, I think it's even worse than that. I don't particularly think they haven't played against all of the greatest tight ends. Like played the Bears 2 weeks ago. Who's their tight end? We actually took their tight end that game, but his line was like 20 yards, so they didn't really even have a tight end. A viable tight end that's a high receiving type of tight end. And when they went up against one in Kraft, they gave up like 100 yards on the road. So they were on the road versus Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson got 7 catches last week for the Cowboys, only 29 yards. But like I said, Commanders going to have their hands full with everybody. I think Kelsey could get himself 45, 50 yards pretty easily here. So really like his spot here. Like I said, even with Rashee Rice back, if you were to consider a Chiefs wide receiver, I'd look at the likes of Tyquan Thornton. His line is 8.5, and he's had a really good season. He's been a great deep ball threat for the Chiefs. He usually gets a couple looks per game. It's hard to imagine they're just going to not allow him to have any type of looks just because he's been a pretty consistent performer for them, and he's really played well this season. So I wouldn't be surprised with that one either. I do like Tyquan Thornton for what it's worth, but I love Travis Kelce just because I think this is a guy you can count on for his volume to remain steady. The other guys, I just don't know, right? With Xavier Worthy, his line is set to 44.5, which looks tantalizing, but he's still managed to hit the under on a lot of them, and he should be hitting that over, and he's just not. Part of it's his health. Then Marquise Brown is like 22.5. Thought about that, but he had 14 last week. Rashee Rice went under his line with 40, so it's kind of like trying to figure out who's going to go off here for the Chiefs, because someone's going off. This Commanders defense is horrible, so really like Kelce though, guys. Love it there for number 3 pick. We're going Travis Kelce, over 40.5 receiving yards. Here are for the Kansas City Chiefs, minus 115 odds on Fanatics. All right, guys, that is going to do it for our picks. If you guys enjoyed the content, as always, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that on the road to 10,000 subscribers. That is going to do it for our picks. As always, appreciate all of you guys. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. And we'll catch you guys all back here next time. Peace out.